Oh, fuck. Fuck. What a way to release a game. Why would they have done this? Honestly, what was the thinking? Hello there. Tarkov Arena. A very polarizing game. And a game you may have pre-ordered and still can't play, while others can purchase it and play right now. Before I even get talking about the game and its systems, let me acknowledge the absolutely brain-dead release. Who in their right mind releases something this slowly? Now, I had no issues with a staggered release. That was fine. If you're worried about server stability, or whatever. I heard they were doing waves, I had no concerns. Until it was 2 full days had passed, and this might sound dickish, because yeah, it was only 2 days for me. Then I got my invite. But it's getting close to a week, and multiple people who've pre-ordered this game years ago do not have it, including a lot of my friends who I'd love to play with, but I can't. It baffles me. Imagine running a studio, being very excited to release your new product, and then forcing people to watch other people enjoying it, even though they've paid for it. And the worst part is, when you do get in a week's time, you're going to be so far behind. I digress. Let's jump into it. Yeah, you can definitely notice when you don't have sound.
Yeah.
I was like, do I start bandaging here? I was like, well, give it a shot. And then immediately some guy walks around the corner.
Yeah.
All right, boys, just a quick editing note. I play on a super ultra wide, which is why you won't see my health popping up in the top left or the scoreboard in the top right. Because of how I play full screen, but I record in the center, so you guys don't have black bars on the bottom and top. Just a quick heads up. There usually is more. And I clutched that one out so hard. Alright, so I didn't expect this to turn into so much of a rant. Not only are those of you unable to play right now being shafted, when you do get access, everyone's going to be so far ahead of you. Their gear is going to eclipse you 5 times over. And I'm with you. This has all been incredibly poorly handled. You're going to be pissed when you get in, and I'm killing you with a fully kitted AK, BT rounds, actual armor, and you'll sit there crying in the corner with your SKS with dog shit rounds. It won't feel good, but it is what it is. Why the fuck have they done this? Okay, before I get talking about the game, I want to talk about this in 2 parts. The game itself and the botched release. The release is fucked. Battlestate have always been a little quirky, and for years it was almost endearing. Never knowing when a wipe was happening until the day before Xmas. Lots of fun. PS, I'm not talking about this year. That was last year, but it may happen this year. Who knows? Listening to them talk about Streets for 5 years, constantly releasing updates but giving no indication when it was coming. Memes were created because of how poor the communication was. But now it's lost that magic. With scandals around cheating, lack of action, and just a big wet slap in the face surrounding their messaging on updates and this release. In the past, I feel like most of the player base could see past it, but I believe Battlestate have truly worn out their goodwill.
Fuck yeah,
no one is happy anymore. Never knowing when a wipe is coming, watching them prioritize streamers for Arena's release, and generally giving no one any information. The day of release, I was jumping between streams, as you do, watching and listening, and every streamer had different ideas of what the release waves looked like. One guy was saying that every half hour, very confidently saying that. Another guy was saying it's every week. Another guy was saying daily. Why the fuck do we not have the answer to that? Because many of my friends have been waiting, still don't have it. And while they will still likely play when it comes out, they're already pissed off, and rightly so. And it's going to be so annoying going into a game with them. They're going to have starting kits. They're going to be versing people with good kits. And they're just going to have a bad time. And that sucks. They're going to have a bad time. So look, before I go further, if you haven't pre-ordered this, you can buy it now. And to my understanding, you can play it now. But you've got to decide if you want to give your money to a company that treats its players like that. And on that note, I thoroughly hope this stupid release, for those who pre-ordered not having access and those buying now getting access, I really hope that wasn't a ploy to try and squeeze some extra cash out of people. Because I know there's some people out there who have bought a copy of Arena even though they pre-ordered it, just so they can play right away. I hope that wasn't some kind of evil plan to get more money out of people. But anyway, that whole bullshit out of the way. Let's talk about the actual game. All right, match 4. This is it. We brought it to 4-4.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
All right, so an actual game. So Arena, it's your classic 5v5 or 2v2 or 3v3 shooter experience. If you ever played COD, you get the idea. You get thrown into a map with others. Everyone has one life. Good luck and survive. First to 5 rounds wins. At a glance, it's good. It's what you'd expect. The same deep combat system in Tarkov, but in small arena matches. Now I'm going to segregate this video even more. If you like a fair and competitive atmosphere in your games, a match in which your skill is directly measured against that of your opponents, this isn't the game for you. Sure, those more skilled will rise to the top, but one of the major problems in Arena right now is balance. If you pick up Arena right this second on a fresh account and come up against me, you're going to be in for a challenge. I will have better weapons. I will have more attachments. I will have better ammo in the chamber. I will have better armor, more meds, and I'll have a wider selection. Now, this isn't any different to games like Call of Duty or Battlefield where you earn weapons over time, but it's more egregious here. In a game where your kit is the difference between killing someone in 15 bullets as opposed to 3 or 4, it's brutal going into a match, walk around the corner, and seeing someone wearing a level 6 armor, while the best you can choose is level 3. For those of you in the back whispering, "Get good, scrub, shoot him in the face." I hear you, but there is a strong difference between landing a shot on a small hitbox consistently and someone like me swinging a corner with a 100-round M4, spraying till you go down. Now, being up front, I actually don't hate this game. I'm actually enjoying it quite a lot, but I love a challenge, and I don't care about my matches being consistent and fair across the board. I didn't come into Arena looking for a competitive, balanced experience. I'm here for a bit of fun. A bit of no-stress fun, and to practice PvP, which in normal Tarkov can be short to get those experiences. It's really hard to get that consistency, so I'm here to just practice. And this problem will only get worse. We're coming up to a week since release, and after missing out the first 2 days myself, I've been able to play between 60 and 70 matches on and off, because obviously it's the holiday period. Not a lot, but enough to allow me to unlock some additional loadouts. I'm really concerned when my friends get into this, and when you get into this, if you're one of those people who pre-ordered it, you're going to be up against really strong loadouts and fighting an uphill battle. Winning matches gets you experience faster, and lets you unlock things faster. I can imagine no worse feeling than waiting a week for a game you pre-ordered and didn't get at release. I'm going to say that again. A game you pre-ordered and did not get at release if you're one of those people. I can't imagine waiting a week and then getting in and trying to unlock something competitive in the game while being stomped into the dirt by a guy with a full kit, good armor, more meds. Ideally, those with better kits and unlocks will climb the ranks, and then you should hopefully start with the newer people and get away from those. But it's still going to happen, and those deaths are going to suck. It's happened to me. I got in pretty early, but there have been a couple of games where I've come up and some guys got level 6 armor, and Alton, a gun with high penning rounds, and he swings a corner, I'm shooting him. Sure, I guess I should be trying to leg meta, but realistically, it's just a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. This system is something that will bring in some players, but it's going to harm the game in the long term. I like the system, even though I acknowledge it's not well set up, especially with a staggered release, for fuck's sake. In the long term, I enjoy it because I like grinding through. I like the grind. I like working towards those weapons over time. But how is anyone new to the game going to get into it? Imagine 4 months down the line, everyone should be in. God, for the love of God, let them be in. And someone wants to try the game. They're going to be up against the only remaining people who are still playing Arena after 4 months, and they're only going to have starter kits. Even if the good players have moved on to the higher ranks, I don't think there'll be enough player base for new players coming in 4 months' time to be able to play this without getting absolutely stomped into the dirt. It's very reminiscent of like Wipe Tarkov, which is a good and a bad thing. The best time to play Tarkov is at Wipe. Everyone is the same level playing field. The worst time to play Tarkov is 6 months in, when there is nothing but best in slot items, Chads running around head tapping while wearing Altons and Hex grids. But where Tarkov mixes things up is that you have greater freedom in how you play. You can hide and rat around. There's other things to do. You're there to loot. You're there to kill scavs. You can try line up a trap. In Arena, you have a small space, and you will either fight that person, or the round will end in either you trying to do a sneaky capture on the point, or death by a raider or poison, assuming this person doesn't find you. The challenge for new players in the future of Arena is that the grind to get better weapons is long. Quite long, which I don't hate now, because I got in early, not to brag, but so I've kept up with the curve of people unlocking items. I've only won maybe 2 fights where I felt truly outmatched because of the kit at the moment, but for new players in the future, this will be every single game for hundreds of games. If I'd stuck to one unlock tree, I'd be closing in on a pretty solid kit. I think it had like level 4 armor, a good AK BT rounds. But to have got to that point, I would have had to never change what I was playing. I would have to go from one to the next to the next. It's a slow grind, and it's even slower if you're going to be losing your matches. Now let's hope that with better kits, those players rise. They should, or they're doing it the wrong way. But at some stage, the majority of the player base will have their kits, and new players will find it rough as fuck. Alright, what about the game? For me, performance great. No issues at all. But if others have had trouble, listen out and make your judgments. Gunplay? If you played OG Tarkov, you know where you're coming from. It's great. I love it. I also love the medication system in this. It's not like Call of Duty where everyone regens after a fight. I love coming out of a fight damaged. It changes my entire game plan for the rest of the match. I won't run and gun as hard if I have some permanent damage, like both my legs are broken. I'll try and work more tactically. And this is where Tarkov Arena will always have an edge for me. Now, we only have 5 maps on release, but I think they're all very well designed. I'm not a bastion of competitiveness. If one map gives a slight edge to blue team over red team, I won't pick up on it. But to my smooth brain, I've loved them. They're varied in scope, promote different play styles, and no one particular style felt overpowered over another. Sure, the Sawmill map, which is kind of a wood style map, more inclined for longer scoped kits. You wouldn't really want to take an SMG into that, but that's okay because all the other maps are pretty consistent. I should note here, all of this could change. If you're watching this 3 months after release, it could be a completely different experience. And to my point on unbalanced kits, they are actively making changes to try and balance this. But as long as they have an unlock system that involves unlocking progressively better kits over time, it won't ever have a good balance for those coming out of the gate. You'll always need to catch up while the people in front of you rain shit down on you. Team killing is possible, but the game discourages it by finding players some of their rubles every time they kill someone. No, a teammate, that is. Now, to explain that, kits cost rubles. You earn rubles on a win and lose money on a loss. But over time, you earn slightly more in a win than you necessarily lose in a loss. So as long as you're winning, not even the majority of your games, but you're not below, I'd probably guess about 30% of a win rate, then you're probably making money, so you're fine. You also you can use free kits or cheaper kits, but these won't progress your unlocks. So I wouldn't recommend it. If you're in the position where you're needing to use those, something's probably gone horribly wrong for you. Even if like you really should be winning at least, I'd hope at least 35 to 40% of your matches. I consider myself a half decent player. I'm at a 50-50 win rate at the moment. But yeah, look, if it could be a problem where you could go bankrupt, and I don't know how you would come back from that. That would be quite a challenge.
Oh my god.
So how does it all feel? This is hard to answer because of the way they've released it and everything going on. I'm having a fantastic time playing. I've always loved Tarkov's combat, and all I've ever wanted was a good way to practice this without needing to kit up and run around into a map looking for combat in which scavs could get in the way, in which somebody could just be ratting at an extract. I play normal Escape from Tarkov, often avoiding combat. I love tasking, earning rubles, and I don't mind a fight, but I'm not always looking for it. Arena is great because it gives me that practice and lets me have some fun with it. The performance has been great for me. I've had no issues at all across the maps. The gunplay continues to feel tight, although at times I felt like I may have had a little lag, but that absolutely could have been my system. The med system comes across and it's tense action at its best. For a player like me, I couldn't recommend it enough right now, if you can get in right now. Would I recommend it in a month? I'd need to reassess. I'm very worried the player base will abandon this game and then return on wipe, and that'll be how it runs, assuming they wipe Arena. I think it'll be fun, competitive experience if you were to be in a lobby with 9 other people who all had the same kits unlocked, in which everyone was on a level playing field, but the game will remain a ball ache for many, when they go to load in with their trusty SKS to find that the whole enemy team are in Alton's ready to roll. If you're after a competitive experience, I would hold off. See how the game evolves over time. I'm sure it will. I think there's a really good game here, but it has been absolutely marred by the way they have released it. You've pissed off the player base. I can't even understand why people are still waiting to get into this. I can only imagine they are trying to build some kind of scarcity and make people like really want it. Maybe they think this is good publicity. For me, my friends, everyone I see streaming this, everyone has the same position. What the fuck are you doing? Why have you excluded people who, especially the people who've paid for this game? The fact that people bought Edge of Darkness back in the day for an incredibly high price, and look, I was one of them. I wanted to support this dev. The fact that people paid for that back in 2018, 2019, 2017, and haven't got in, what are you doing? And of course, that sentiment then flows through. And look, people have valid issues with the game. Some people don't like it. Some people hate the fact that it's unbalanced. I've seen some people complaining about team killing being rampant. Look, I've played 60 games and I've only ever seen accidental team killing, and then it was once, maybe twice a map. And that was pretty rare. I could probably count the number of times I've seen that on both hands over 60 games. So I haven't seen issues with team killing. I've seen some people talk about people who rage and AFK. Look, when somebody AFKs, in my experience, the game tells you, hey, people have left. You can leave without incident. And I've left. And again, over the 60 matches I've played, I think that's happened twice. Nothing you wouldn't expect from another shooter where people just up and leave. It's a good game. I'm really enjoying it. I've obviously been running footage in the background this whole time. It feels tight. It feels clean. It feels fun. Look, it's Tarkov combat. Do you want that in an arena style or don't you? That's essentially what it comes down to. And then it comes down to also whether you want to support these devs with the decisions they've made. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Please consider liking, subscribing, commenting. It all helps me out. I'd love to know, are you enjoying this game? Are you not? Honestly, really like honest feedback. If you're not happy with the game, tell me what you're not liking, because I'm really keen to hear it, because I understand a lot of people aren't enjoying it at the moment, and I want to hear more about that. I want to know what's going on for you. All right. Catch you guys later. Don't forget, I do stream here on YouTube, so come check me out when you're free.
No, sorry, I could only kill 4 of them that time. That's my bad. So sorry, team. Oh, you'll find this funny. Well, I don't know if you know this. Do you know that Mr. Beast has his own chocolate range? Yeah. You know that one of them is called D's Nuts?
D's Nuts?
D's Nuts, as in the joke, like D-E-E-Z.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, I was in the shops with Taz, and I'm like, "Hey, do you want some of D's?" And then she did this, and then she did it.
I
got her with it, and then I laughed. I laughed for so incredibly long and almost fell over. I was laughing that hard, and she was just standing there.
So good. Did you laugh?
She had a look at her face that she found it funny.